guys, my name is Ashley. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to show you how I propagate my philodendron plants. I have two here that I'm going to take cuttings from, and I'm going to show you what my favorite method of propagation is. Lately, I've been really into sphagnum moss. I used to be like a die-hard water propagator, and I think that was just because I hadn't tried any other methods. So now that I have tried sphagnum moss, I really like it. So I'm gonna go over how to cut a cutting and then what to do after you cut the cutting. I guess let's just get into it. I didn't plan this video at all, so if it seems really weird and like unplanned, that's why. I didn't plan it at all. Just really quickly to go over some plant anatomy and how to know where to cut. So I have my Harli philodendron here, and I'm gonna be taking, I think, one cutting, and then I'll cut that one cutting into pieces, just because there's a lot going on here, and I feel like some of the growth is really tiny like this, so I'm gonna cut this off and propagate it. Basically, on a vine, you are gonna find the spot where the stem of a leaf meets, or not the stem of a leaf, this is actually called a petiole, it's not a stem. So where the petiole, so you have your leaf, the petiole is like the leaf stem. I know it's not a stem, it's a petiole. And then the actual stem is the piece of vine that all of the leaves petioles connect to. So you want to find the spot where the petiole connects to the stem, which is right here. The part where the petiole meets the stem is a node, and the node is where roots will come out. So you want to cut in between the nodes, and then hopefully roots will come from the node. So I'm going to just look at this vine and then decide where I want to cut. As you can see, there are two nodes where there is no leaf coming off. I don't know if the leaf died or what happened, but I definitely want to cut that off. So I'm gonna cut just below the last one where there is no leaf. I got my child scissors here. They work really well. So what I try to do is give myself an inch under where the node is. Cut right there. Boom. And then what I'm gonna do is cut this into further small pieces. All right, we have our piece that we just cut off. I cut it below a node, which is right here. And then let's just go over the plant anatomy one more time. This whole like vine, the main part of the vine is called the stem. So that is the part where all of the petioles meet the stem. So a petiole is the piece that the leaf comes off of. So here is your leaf, and then this is the petiole, which meets the stem right here. And then where that meeting point is the node. So that is where leaves come out of, and it's also where roots will come out of. So what we're gonna do with this piece that I cut off, I'm going to cut in between all of the nodes so that each leaf is on their own little piece, and then I can propagate each individual piece so that we'll have like a full miniature plant. Now that I explained that, let's just go ahead and cut all this. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut in between each node. So even though there's two nodes here that don't have any leaves, I'm gonna cut them off because I don't want there to just be a huge chunk of stem in the soil later on, because then that only leaves more room for potential for rotting, and I don't want that. So I'm going to just cut in between the bottom leaf here and this node. This will get thrown in the garbage. And then I have this little thing, and I'm just going to cut in between each leaf right here. So then I'll have a bunch of little cuttings, and I'll show you when I'm done. I cut in between each of the nodes, and now I'm left with little pieces like this. So basically you have a node, a little bit of stem, and then you have a leaf. So I'm going to put these in my sphagnum moss, and I will show you how I do that now. Okay, so I have a little Tupperware, and this is a method that I learned from Harli G on YouTube. I will link her video about propagation boxes down below in my description. But basically I just took a Tupperware container that is clear on the sides and partially clear on the top. I stabbed holes through the top of the lid, and then I have sphagnum moss in here. This is already wet because I pulled other propagations out of this that were ready to be potted, but I'll give it a little spritz of water. And basically what you wanna do is just keep the sphagnum moss moist so that it will encourage the growth. This sphagnum moss, or sphagnum moss in general, will come dry, but I know you can also buy it in dried bricks and basically just soak it and then it's ready for use. So I have all of my cuttings right here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and place all of them in the moss. I'm just gonna make sure this is nice and even, and then I'm basically just gonna try and tuck each part of the stem under the sphagnum, and then it'll be pretty much good to go. I'm gonna do that for each of these. You just wanna make sure that there is sphagnum moss touching each of the nodes. And obviously, like, these cuttings aren't gonna completely fill up this container, which is fine because I'm also going to take cuttings of this Philodendron Brazil right here because it's looking a little leggy. Here's my last one. And this one, as you can see, this is the end of the vine. So I have my node here in stem, and then this is a new leaf that's coming out. So it's possible this cutting won't survive just because it's in the middle of trying to put out a new leaf, and then I just cut it up. But I'm only gonna I'm trying not to submerge the leaf end. Just stick that kind of in there and hopefully that will stay alive. So that is kind of the end product. You have the sphagnum moss and it's covering all of the nodes. And basically what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna spray it with water, and then I'm just gonna make sure that it stays moist. And once there are substantial roots, I will pot it up. So I ran out of room in this one, so I just stabbed holes in another Tupperware of mine because I don't need Tupperware apparently. I just need it for propagations. That's all we care about, right? Propagating plants. So they didn't all fit in here. I think I can maybe put one more in there, and then I just made this other box, so I'm gonna put the rest of them in there, and yeah, that's kind of the plan right now. And then as you can see, I brought over some other cuttings of my Scindapsus pictus argyrius. I took these cuttings like probably a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, and they've started rooting, but I also noticed that they're starting to rot on the tips. So I'm gonna just put them in moss instead, just because I don't want them to rot, and it'll just be easier because then all of my propagations are pretty much in sphagnum. So I'm just going to situate the rest of these, and then I will show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, so here are my boxes. This is the box with the Brazil and the Scindapsus. So you can see I kind of just slightly tucked them in there, and then I'll just check it for moisture every few days. And then this one has the Harli, Harli Philodendron and the Brazil, and I just sprayed it, as you can see, but they're all just kind of tucked in there. So hopefully it won't take too long for them to root. Yeah, that's kind of it for these. I just thought of one more thing. So this is where I have my propagation little container sitting. It is in front of, I have them sitting on the top of the shelf in front of a west facing window. So this room also has a south facing window, so it has really, really bright indirect light all day, and then in the afternoon obviously we get some really, really nice direct sunlight through this window, but it's not too intense for these plants. So this will be really good for these propagations. And I guess let me know if you guys want to see an update video on my propagations in a couple weeks. And then obviously, like I mentioned before, you can definitely propagate in water. I also am trying to propagate some peperomia in perlite. Just strictly only perlite. So I'll let you guys know how that goes, but this is how I am going to be propagating my philodendron kind of moving forward. And it's very similar to the way that I propagate all of my other plants, or other plants that are able to be propagated. If you have any questions about how I do this or anything, please let me know in the comments. I think I covered everything, but again, I didn't plan this video out before I did it, so it's possible I missed something. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please give a huge thumbs up and subscribe. Is it down here to my YouTube channel? You can also click the notification bell next to the subscribe button if you want to be notified every time I post a video. I did mention on Instagram that I'm going to be changing my posting schedule. So I was posting every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. But because that's kind of in the middle of the week and I'm trying to find a job and stuff, I want to move it to a weekend so that I have the whole week to prep the video. So I'm thinking my videos will now be going live on Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. That'll give me the whole week to figure stuff out. So I think that's what we're going to do moving forward. That is when this one will be going live. And then I'll let you know if that's how it's going to be continuing. We'll see. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Peace.